We did tomatoes, we did flour, we did bread, we did milk. Everything sold. Engine is off. We can jump out. So yes, we can do the thing with that. So I think what I might do is, there's a selling contract for sugar beets, and as I said, we don't have a seeder planter. But there are a bunch of fertilizing contracts which we could do. And that one they're providing us with a it's funny, they're supplying us with that liquid, solid, slurry or manure, but they've provided us with a manure spreader. Don't know if that allows for some manure spreaders are now solid fertilizer. None of the in-game ones look like they do. So yeah. So unless you have that, borrowing the equipment for this is a little bit of a problem if you don't have your own manure. We do, so that could be an option. I'm not inclined to borrow equipment at this point. It's got a solid spreader. And I mean, theoretically at this point, solid fertilizer is probably what's supposed to be spread. It's 1926, so I'm going to do, let's turn the details on. This got updated, so that's a thing. We did that one, we'll take that one, and we'll take the 8000 one. Oh, and that's come with the slurry spreader. Woo! All kinds of fun. Anyway, I want to grab the Deutz and let's use our new sprayer. I think 2,000 litres in there. I'm going to top that off. Going to add another 5,000. We are going, yeah, we're going to use it over time, so it doesn't really matter when I buy it. Do I want to drop the arms off? Yes. I mean, my thoughts are, while this, that's awkward. While this tractor obviously does support front loader arms and everything else, that's a little bit better angle. We really don't need to use them that much. We can make use of the Massey Ferguson because it's cheaper to maintain. So we get to play with our nice new orange sprayer. So come April we should be looking at, there will be some baling contracts to be done, which is where we've made a lot of our money in the last year. Additionally, obviously our field will be ready to cut as well, and we'll turn that into silage. Actually, April's going to be quite a busy month. We're looking at, oops, let's wait till it's full. Okay, where are we going? We are going to 82, which is over there, and then 26 and 19, which are down there. go do 26 and 19. I think we get in there. We'll do 26 and 19, and then if we have to, we can call back at the yard and fill this thing up again. So yeah, as I said, the big reason for this upgrade was the tank size. We're now moving twice as much liquid fertilizer behind the tractor as we were. Which makes for longer time on station. Now, once I get a tanker that can move around liquid which moves around liquid fertilizer, what I can do is go out with the tanker and do multiple fields. Okay, actually, entrance looks like it's that one. Yes, okay. That's actually convenient because it's right on the pass through to the animal dealer, which thus has gives us direct access to the fields to the south of us too. Okay, let us line that up. Unpack the arms. So booms are basic length. Again, it doesn't make the job quicker than the equipment that we already had, but it's at this stage it's looking to the future. Okay, the fact that there are rocks on the field means that the sprayer may take 10% additional damage. Because that's actually a thing. Auto width 18 meters is good. We will set a heading 0. I think we're actually heading 180, but 180 is 0. Turn that on. I think I've got it on auto. Yeah, we're going to leave everything on auto. Oops. Just because. Come on. There we go. Auto does, yeah, it does. We don't have to use up this much to complete the contract. We could do a minimum application and that would be sufficient. However, this series we're not going to be quite so cheaty on that line. So probably going to miss this corner here. I will do a headland and then come back on this track to finish up this field. I also learned this isn't the only GPS available. However, this GPS does line up, or does tie in with the headland control mod. So on that count, it's a little bit more functional. Plus, it's the one I know how to use now. But there is the what's it? Something like enhanced vehicle control add-on or something like that, which we used to use back in Farm Sim 19 to give us the drive and reverse gear select, and that now does include a GPS. which is a little bit easier to activate. You just line up your vehicle and activate it, and it does pretty much everything automatically. Well, this is a rather convenient width field, I would say, since our GPS line is right on the edge of it. So one of the advantages with narrower equipment is you have to drive across the field more times, so it is going to add to your maintenance costs. However, it's you're not wasting quite so much at the edges, though I may be wasting quite a lot at the edges at this point. What was I wanting to look at? I was wanting to look at automatic application. Oh, there's a nitrogen reference value, and I don't have the crop sensors turned on. That's fine. And the deal here is there are no crops to sense, so why would you turn the crop sensors on? This is a contract field, so that's kind of a moot point. But we are really not draining this that quickly. I don't know if there's some special gaming logic in effect. But yeah, we started with 46, we're just under 42, and we are doing contracts, which is down there, 26. Oh, we're 41% of the way through the contract, so. Oh, and there's the little message at the top right that says we're 40% complete. So we'll probably use a little over 1,000 litres of fertiliser on this one. Now, technically that should turn off. It is not turning off, and it is using on the turn. So I think I should disengage the sprayer when I turn around, just to keep things efficient. The tractor needs a service. So apparently cost of repair on a tractor is exponential the longer you leave it. So if you constantly you repair your tractors when they're 90% broken, or at 90%, then it's going to be cheap. And if you wear it out another 10%, it's going to be similarly cheap. Whereas if you run it 80%, then you are probably going to end up with it costing 2.5 times as much as if you repaired. Is it 2.5 times as much? No, 50% more. So talk about hours. If you repair a tractor every hour and it costs you £200 to repair it every hour, if you instead let it run for 2 hours and then repair it, it's going to cost you about £450. Maybe £550. I can't remember, but it's noticeably more if you the longer you leave it between repairs. Now, I'm not sure fixing your tractor every hour is particularly realistic. However, I would say that the more frequently you repair it. Don't leave it too long. There we go. A little bit of a collision on that wood thing. So yeah, don't do a dagger win and never repair anything until it's down to 10%. And, oh, I really need the horsepower. That is artificially costing you a ton of money to fix. And way more than you need to. So I should have repaired my tractor quite a while ago. But I'm not too worried about that at the moment. And while this is a long-term tractor, we're going to have other tractors that are probably going to be doing far more of the heavy lifting than this one eventually will. And while this one does have its own crop sensors, again with the okay. That's the best way to do this. Let's go straight backwards. So admittedly, having longer arms would keep me further away from the edge because we'd have done a wider headland. However, I'd probably be hitting the hedge far more frequently than I currently am. And again, lost my train of thought, so I'll just get this job done. Drop down to 90. So we're actually doing okay on usage. It's better than I thought it was going to be, and we probably have the capacity to do all three of these in one shot. Now the question is, obviously going forward, I think buying a slurry tank and or manure spreader may be of a fairly large benefit to our farm, considering how much our cows have already produced. I don't think they've produced enough yet, but that is free fertilizer, and using it on contracts might be a plan. It makes performing the contract free, apart from obviously wear and tear and diesel costs. But it's then free to use our own equipment, and we don't even have a consumable to pay for. I don't think we're currently making enough to service our own. Well, we probably are, truth be told. I mean, we don't have that many fields, but as the farm expands, we are going to end up with way more fields than we have natural fertilizer, which is what we had on Oakfield. We quite quickly exceeded our capacity for natural fertilizer, and there we were doing what was it? Typically oilseed radish, followed by stuff, followed by manure, and then a liquid spray right before harvest. Now we're doing precision farming, and so it's really getting the nitrogen to where it needs to be. And part of the consideration with doing things like manure or slurry and oilseed radish is They are. They're not final application fertilizers. They're a method of reducing the cost for the amount of additional artificial fertilizer that you add. So it's always going to cost us X amount on liquid fertilizer. But if we planted oilseed radish, we would reduce the amount of liquid fertilizer we do need to get to the perfect amount of nitrogen. But you still have to pay for the seeds. Now the seeds are a lot cheaper than the liquid nitrogen, or liquid fertilizer, liquid nitrogen. However, you really then have to factor in the cost of maintenance on your, for manure, the cost of maintenance on your tractor and manure spreader for one application, which may or may not be a lot. Conversely, with oilseed radish, you've got to prepare the ground. You've got to plant the oilseed radish. You've got to cultivate the oilseed radish. You cannot use a direct seeder to plough in oilseed radish. You will not get the benefit. So you're going to have to pass over the field 2 or 3 extra times, and that's 2 or 3 extra times of wear and tear on the cultivator, wear and tear on the seeder, and wear and tear on the tractor. So, and while you're saving money on the artificial fertilizer costs, the cost of repairing the tractor is going to chew through that and then some. So it's actually less efficient, less financially viable to plant oilseed radish. Therefore, I would suggest the only reason you want to plant oilseed radish is because it's a role-playing thing. And yeah, you get the benefit of the nitrogen, but it's going to cost you, if you're playing Farm Sim purely to make the money expand the farm, then you're probably better using the artificial stuff. How do I get in that field there? Probably down the path over here. I'm also going to turn off GPS. I think we're going across this field rather than up and down. Yeah. This tractor needs to be cleaned as well. Again, something. Always. Okay, we now need to unfold. I probably don't need to unfold because we've got the width already set now. Set A 90. Okay, and I think if I remember right, oh, there we go. That worked. A little bit of issues with the edge of the field there. We are set up right for this one. So, get this one done, and then we need to go and head up to 85. I don't think I'm going to bother refilling the tank. think we have more than enough fertilizer to do all of these contracts. I checked the weather yesterday, real life, and it did say we weren't due rain until tonight. It's changed its mind. It's going to be rain on and off all day, which makes me pleased that I did actually cut the grass yesterday. So we cut the grass, we changed the water in the fish tank, so they're all happy and clean. And this morning I pulled a few plants out which were wrapped around the filter intake or floating on the surface because they'd come unbedded. I don't know, some of them stay in and some of them just keep falling out, so I do what I can. And I recently bought a bunch of sort of bottom growth plants. A lot of the plants I bought first off grew really long stems and leaves on the surface. So there's a lot of obstacles for the fish to swim around at high level. But last time I decided I'm going to buy some sort of shorter stemmed plants that grow at the bottom, so that they'd be a little bit more manageable. But yeah, we now have an absolute metric ton of fish. They're all, well, apart from the cory catfish, they're all live breeders. So they're just producing like crazy, which is fine. It means you can buy 6 fish for your fish tank and a year later you've got 50 fish. Although we do know there are casualties in that some of the baby fish end up as someone's lunch. Not a lot we can do about that. Okay, that's the headland done. And turn it on. A bit early on the turn on that, but yeah, we're good to go. So, new Star Wars series on Disney dropped this week. And they dropped the first 3 episodes on Wednesday. And frankly, I can't say I blame them, because those first 3 episodes really dragged out. And I noticed the same for the Obi-Wan series as well. They're not fast started. Now, Obi-Wan ended with quite an impressive battle between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan right near the end. But the first few episodes were very, very slow. And with Andor, I felt it was even slower. You're establishing the character, but sometimes I wonder whether the sort of the let's tell the story and flashback to important points in the past is a better way to do it, because you're engaging the viewer far more